all-seeing guys. I am Greg.
And I am Joe.
And he is, of course, Joe. How are you all doing? Feeling pretty good, actually.
I'm feeling.
My name is Gareth Eastwood, aka and as always,
And I am, of course, Joe.
I am joined by my brother in arms, my nerdy
Guys, I am...
Yes, it is, of course, the SMG. It's the journalist, Mr. Sam Eastwood.
Good morning, power people.
My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. To the outside world, I'm an ordinary forensic scientist, but secretly, with the help of my friends at Open All Powers and the All Seeing Guys podcast, I fight crime and find other metahumans like me. After drinking too many Jaeger bombs at the Fighting Cocks one night, I lost control of my speed on the way home and dropped my kebab. In an attempt to save her, I ran back in time to save the kebab I love, and in doing so, created the alternate timeline, Flashpoint. I restored the timeline to how it was, only to find things weren't as I left them. Things such as podcast hosts had changed. Joe and Greg host Open All Powers. Sam and Gaz host the All Seeing Guys. I brought new podcasters to our world, and I'm the only one fast enough to stop them. I am... The Flash. The Flash.
Welcome to the All Seeing Guys. The All Seeing Guys. With Greg and Joe. The All Seeing Guys. The All Seeing Guys. Greg and Joe.
Hello! Wow, welcome to the All Seeing Guys podcast.
You're not Greg.
And you're not Joe.
I'm not drinking a pint.
Are you- No, I haven't got any rum whatsoever. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I've got a coffee and it's really early in the morning. I've no idea what's going on.
It seemed as though last week we were hosting another podcast.
Yeah, it feels that way. Yeah, but
There's just something in the back of my mind that feels like this isn't right.
no,
I was-
definitely not copacetic.
I was only chatting to Greg from Open All Powers the other day, and he was saying he felt the exact same way, like something doesn't, like, he felt like he was hosting a different podcast.
Oh,
the
that's
other week.
weird. That's really weird. I don't know.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
let's see where we go.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Gaz.
I'm Sam.
What's going on, people? How have you been this week, Sam?
I've not been too bad. I've finally got back to Huddersfield store. So I've got a nice big fat job promotion.
Nice.
Which was nice. So instead of flitting about between Huddersfield and Bury, I'm now in Huddersfield permanently.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's been good, yeah. Started writing my erotic novel.
Standard, yeah. How's it coming?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
What, whilst writing it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. No, I'm only joking. I haven't been writing erotic.
Do you think you could do it, though? Do you reckon you could write erotica?
Yeah, I reckon I could. I think I could. Okay, so the store I used to work in the Bury store, the girls were very open about what they'd talk about. Who'd been bummed is usually a good one that usually came up on a regular occasion. And they were very open about talking about sex, online dating, who they'd slept with that weekend and stuff, what they'd done in bed and things like that. And, you know, from a guy's point of view, it's kind of weird from me to hear that. But the way they were talking about what they want in a guy and things like that, one of the girls used to absolutely, if she would desperately go for a chav guy. And she'd be like, oh, that guy's such a chav, I absolutely love him. And he'd have like really bad tattoos. He'd have like, you know, the gym body. He'd have the matching tracksuit and stuff like that. She'd be like, Sam, I well fancy him. I was like, yeah, I know.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I reckon if I could probably write a short story and a short erotic story. Yeah.
I think we should give it a try sometime. Like, not me and you together because we're brothers. That'd be kind of weird, you know. Like, how do you think she should be taking the cock at this point? Yeah.
Forcefully or gently? Yeah.
Jesus. Because, like, it's weird, like, if you pick up something like 50 Shades of Grey. So, for example, a while back at my old job, we were having, like, one of these coffee mornings, you know, to raise money for Macmillan and that. And loads of people brought in a shitload of books. So there was a table just full of books. It was mainly the Da Vinci Code and like autobiographies from people like Davina McCall and stuff like that, right?
Nothing people that haven't read in ages and just use as coasters.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was helping set up in the morning, like, you know, just like putting balloons up and things like that.
Yeah.
And I picked, there was a 50 Shades of Grey on this table of books, so I just picked it up and just started reading it out loud. And it was like, he took his tongue and began moving it in a clockwise motion around my rim and shit like that. And it's like, if you read it matter of fact, it's just ludicrous, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely ludicrous. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And what kind of got me was the fact that how mainstream it's become and how acceptable it's become to read erotica. So you see, when it first came out, you saw people reading it on the bus, on the plane. When we were on holiday, we were in Barcelona, and at least 4 or 5 people on the Sun Terrace had a copy of this book, or the other, what's the other one? Grey, written from his point of view. And it was just like, if I pulled out a copy of Jugs or something like that, you know, like Reader's Wise 40 plus, I'd be like, Sam, what the hell are you doing? You know, you can't do that. But you know, I suppose it's because it's got no pictures, I suppose, and so you have to use your imagination. But
exactly, yeah.
But have you seen the film though?
I haven't seen 50 Shades of Grey, but I did watch about an hour of the parody 50 Shades of Black, which was made by the same guys who did fucking
it's the Wyan Brothers.
Wyan Brothers, that's the Badgers, and it was all right.
Yeah.
It was grossly under budget and just not really that funny. Yeah. But I mean, they always go for a bit of slapstick with those kind of movies, don't they? So it was. But you've seen the first movie.
I've seen the first movie, and Samantha dragged me to the cinema to see the second one. I was the only guy in the cinema. There was I think it was like opening day, and it was the daytime as well, so there's barely anyone there. Yeah, and it was just painful. And even Samantha, who has read the book and was like, and on retrospect now, thinking about it, started saying, I really don't like the book. Watch the film and go, no, I really don't like the film. And then we watch this second one and it's just appalling. The acting is terrible. The story is ludicrous. The chemistry between the characters is awful because they hate each other. The main people hate each other. It's just absolutely hideous. Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
Well, I think I could put pen to paper or penis to paper and write an erotic novel. Yeah.
I don't know how we went from "How have you been, Sam?" to "I'm going to write an erotic novel."
Do you think you could write one based around what you do? If you did graphic design. Okay. The title, the first thing, the title. You do graphic design or computer design, card design. What would you do for the?
Oh shit! Well, it's got to be something sort of to do with Photoshop or Illustrator. Or maybe like the composition of love.
Oh yeah! Oh, nice.
Oh shit! The first thing that comes to my mind is just basically, if anyone doesn't know, on Photoshop there's a tool called the Magic Wand, and that's all I can think of.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna sort of take a wee caveat from that, Sam, and just sort of say real quick that this weekend just gone, I've been away to Malham.
Oh yeah,
with our dad, the old man. We just went
Old Man Eastwood.
Old Man Eastwood. Yeah, we did a bit of walking. Now,
sounds like a grumpy neighbour, doesn't it? Like, don't kick your football in the garden. Old Man Eastwood will come and get you.
But we usually camp, but we stayed in a travel lodge this time. We shared a room just because
of the old man's back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The old man's back, and also the tent needs re-waterproofing as well.
Geez,
and honestly, I swear to God, my ass was like a machine gun. Seriously, it was bad news. Like like a normal fart, it's either got a bit of rasp to it, it's got a bit of squelch. This was literally just like, oh my goodness, it was horrendous. And just in the morning, the room just stank of ass. Honestly, whatever cleaner had to come into that room and fucking sort it out. They're probably still in hazmat suits. Oh god, it was absolutely abysmal.
I assume Dad found this awful and you found it hysterical.
Oh yes, well, to be fair, he would, puts up a good fight into it when we're having a fart off, but fucking hell.
Oh jeez.
But it's funny because we did a lot of walking. We're out in the countryside and stuff, and me and Dad were just having a joke about this. This weird kind of outdoor countryside etiquette where you say hello
to people that you walk past.
Exactly. Morning. Oh yeah.
You never do that on the street. You give them dirty looks and you tell them to fuck off. As soon as you walk onto a country path, morning.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah. How you doing? Yeah.
All right.
Lovely day.
Yeah, lovely day. Yeah. Hello. Oh, nice dog. Yeah.
It's just so weird, but it's funny because I'll just tell you this quick anecdote. We were at the travel lodge and there was a farm shop around the corner. So we loaded the stuff up in the car, and then we were we'd gone for his breakfast first, and we loaded stuff in the car. We got in, and Dad was just inputting something into the sat nav.
Yeah.
And I could see this guy. There was next to the travel lodge. There was a Burger King / Little Chef. Fast food chains are available.
Standard nutritious breakfast from
exactly.
Travel lodge. Yeah.
So there was this proper scally looking guy, like proper thuggy looking guy, sat next to the window of the Burger King, staring us out like no one was watching life. And from walking up the car park, literally staring at us with this look on his face as if to say, like, you know, this is prison and I'm gonna shank you.
Yeah, he probably thought you were a bear and a cub.
He was probably looking at us thinking, like, were those the two guys firing off a machine gun last night? So we get in the car, and I said to Dad, this guy's staring at us. So Dad like stared back at him as if to say, what the fuck are you looking at? Anyway, so all of a sudden I see him get out of his chair. I was like, hey, up, he's coming. Yeah. So he comes marching out of the building towards us. So Dad like gets out of the car and kind of leans over. He's like, yeah. This guy went, did you just give me the finger? So Dad's like, no. Oh, I thought you gave me the finger. Like, nope, sorry, that wasn't us. And you're like, all right, yeah, never mind then. And walk back in. And
clearly looking for a fight then.
Well, this is the only thing we could think it was, is when Dad was typing in the sat nav, he was using his middle finger.
Oh,
so he lifted it up, and this guy, but I was just like,
yeah, but you wouldn't be sat there going, I know, just waving it in the window,
flipping the bird. I know, but you know, this was about 8 o'clock in the morning, for fuck's sake, and I'm thinking, like, were you out looking for a fight or something? Like, I better bosh my fucking McBreakfast or whatever the hell he's having. No, that's not Burger King, is it? That's mixing two franchises. That'd be like 2 podcast swapping hosts. But
that'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Crazy, right? And yeah, just came like storming over. But I thought, like, what could that have potentially escalated to? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, there'd be a rumble at the travel lodge.
I know, Jesus Christ. But anyway, as usual, should we start with a bit of geezdropping?
Geezdropping, yes.
Geezdropping, having a listen.
Okay, so this is snippets of things we've heard out and about, half of a sentence that you might have caught, and you try and sit there and wonder what the hell that conversation could have been. So Sam, any geezdrops this week?
I had a great one beginning of the week when it was really, really hot. Obviously, that's what British people do. They talk about the weather. And just sort of sidetrack, me and Samantha came to the decision that there are 3 types of weather in the UK. There's mild, there's quite mild, and there's very mild. So when you go outside, you go, what's the weather doing? Oh yeah, it's quite mild actually. It's quite mild. But then you get, it's how your inflection says it, the inflection in your voice, how you say, how's the weather? Oh, it's very mild. It's very mild at the moment. But so very mild is quite a bit cross, but it's quite mild. He's a bit delighted. So he's just like, oh yeah, it's mild. Yeah. Those are the 3 types of weather we get in the UK. Anyway, so it's really, really hot. I'm serving this customer at work. I overheard another customer talking, saying, this is the actual sentence. He said, yeah, it's hot, but it's not Cornwall hot.
So I'm gonna so when people say things like, oh, you know, holiday sun,
yeah.
So when you're in like Barcelona or Tenerife, the sun, it's a different heat.
It's a different heat, yeah.
This clearly wasn't Cornwall.
No, clearly Cornwall has a different type of temperature in the southern region, and yeah, he was clearly convinced that it was hot. It wasn't Cornwall hot. How hot it gets in Cornwall, I don't know. But clearly it's hotter than the rest of the world.
That's where we all need to be going. Clearly, we need to be getting to Cornwall.
There's like wheelie bins melting into the pavement, and there's like people passing out from heat exhaustion. There's actually water bubbling up from the ocean and stuff.
People
like
frying eggs on the bonnet of the car.
Frying eggs on the bonnet of the car, cooking cupcakes in the boot and stuff like that. Yeah, so.
Brilliant. Well, I'll just tell you this one real quick. I mean, this isn't a brilliant geezdrop, but I did find it amusing anyway. When we're at Malham, we're at the top of Malham Cove, and now basically for anybody who doesn't know, Malham is an area which is basically landscape which was torn apart by the Ice Age essentially, and the Cove is a giant sort of 300-foot waterfall that doesn't have water flowing over it anymore. So, but there's no barriers, there's no guards. You could quite easily, you have to be careful near the edge and such. Like,
if anyone has seen the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, when they're on the top of that cliff, that's where Hermione and Harry camp. Yeah. That's that area. Yeah.
Exactly right. Exactly. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's these 2 old codgers tootling along, and the bloke says to this woman, "Oh, be careful near the edge. the woman looks over the edge and just went, I can think of worse ways to die. Like, so falling to
hang on a minute.
death.
Let me get my list of death out. Malum Cove. No, that's number 14. That one. Yeah, down there.
I was thinking I was thinking falling 300 foot to a bludgeoning rocky death.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it's a pretty horrible way of dying, really.
Yeah, yeah.
She's there thinking like, well, when I want to go, I want to drown or burn to death.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I want to be shot in the head by a sniper. Yeah.
But whilst we were up there as well, this was absolutely fantastic. There was these two women walking along, and now so this is just the beauty of catching half a conversation. I just heard this woman go, "That is such a useful spoon. The shape and size of it is just perfect." It gets better. To which the woman replied, "I'll tell you where I got it from. I got it from a shop in Chapel Allerton called Cleopatra."
Oh my god! Oh Jesus! What was she using the spoon for?
I have no idea. Well, I mean,
Wait, did she have the spoon out at the time?
She didn't have a spoon out at the time. I just call this conversation. It's such a useful, like, what was the? I'd love to have gone back in time to look to the start of that conversation, because if me and you were walking along, like, I mean, let's imagine how that conversation could have started. Let's say, I had a really nice dessert last night. It was, I had a chocolate cheesecake at that restaurant, but they gave me a spork, and I don't like sporks. I prefer a spoon.
Yeah.
You know, like that one. What? You've got a. What was that dessert I had at yours, and you gave me that really nice spoon?
Oh, you had a Knickerbocker Glory.
That was it. Yeah. Where did you get that spoon from?
Oh, that was from Cleopatra's, that shop. Did I tell you where that was?
In Chapel Allerton.
That's the one,
It's such a useful spoon. The shape and size of it is just perfect. See, we've nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it.
Now, presumably, this must be a utility spoon, because it must be used for a range of things. So you could mix your brew with it. You could spoon out some like cake mix with it, or something like that. You could eat a dessert with it. What else do you do with a spoon? You could dig out if you snowed in.
With a spoon?
With a spoon, yeah.
You could use the... now, did you ever do that thing at university when you had no clean knife, so you butter some toast with the back of a spoon?
Oh, yeah, you do that one. But the best one is when you're cutting malt bread, saurine malt bread, and you cut it with the bladed side, and then you flip the knife over and use the smooth side as the butter, so you don't have to get out another knife. Oh man, that's a useful spoon. Jesus Christ, where does that conversation even start from?
Christ, any more geese drops?
I've got one more for you. This was actually coming home yesterday. This was in Rochdale, so as you can imagine what the conversation was like. I was just getting off the tram, and one girl says to another, "Do you ever hear from Tara?" And the other one goes, "Nah, mate, she's still in prison."
That just says it all, really.
Says it all about Rochdale.
Sums up Rochdale completely.
Yeah, but it was so blasé. It was just like. Oh no, she's still in, wherever, Nottingham. She's still in Edinburgh. She's still in wherever. Oh no, mate, she's still. I know. If you'll notice if you ever go to Rochdale, a lot of Rochdale girls refer to each other as mate.
Oh really?
Whereas a lot of guys obviously do it, but Rochdale girls refer to each other as mate. And they go, "Mate, have you seen this? Mate, have you seen that? Mate, have you got a fag?" And it's all it's just stuff like that all the time. Everything's mate,
God.
but yeah, no, mate, she's still in prison.
God almighty.
Love to know what Tara had done, but never mind.
That's it. Just how blasé it is.
Yeah.
I remember once I saw a thing on Facebook. It was like back when I was like friends with every Tom, Dick, and Harry I went to school with before the Great Cull. This dude had put on a status about FIFA or whatever. So someone else had commented about, "Oh mate, I remember you were really good at that in prison." Like the Great Prison FIFA League, you know what I mean? Winner gets extra fucking porridge.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple more.
Oh, go on then.
I'll go with. I'll save the best till last. But I was on a tram coming back from Manchester.
Yeah.
Now, for people who don't know the Manchester area, the Metrolink kind of stops at every sort of district of Greater Manchester and places you would have never heard of before in your life.
Yeah.
But the stop before Manchester is an area called Monsall.
Yeah.
Now, Monsall is basically famous for back before immunisations for like tuberculosis and polio and stuff like that. It was where the isolation hospital was.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's basically what, like, because I was talking to mum and dad about this,
Yeah.
they were saying that that's what it was kind of known for. That's where, if you had like a contagious disease, that's where you were sent, essentially.
Yeah.
But now it's just like kind of housing estates and flats and things like that.
Pretty much, yeah.
So there was a girl stood near me on the phone on the tram. She was in a school uniform, so max age, we're talking 15 potentially.
Yeah.
15 or 16. And she got on the tram. She was on the phone, and she was saying to her friend, like, "Where are you? Where are you? I've just got on the tram." So, "Oh, what do you mean you're still at the station?" "Oh, for goodness sake." So then she just went, "Monsall." "No, I'm not getting off at Monsall. That'll ruin my street cred." Now, a couple of things here. Number one, when we were at school, I remember we used to use the term street cred, like, ironically.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, Mum, don't walk with me, you'll ruin my street cred."
Yeah.
It was more of a joke. We never took it
Yeah,
literally.
never
did
took
we?
it literally. Yeah, no one has street cred.
I know, yeah, exactly. But then this idea that, "Oh, I'm not getting off at I think the idea was get off at Monsall, get on a tram and come back and
Yeah.
get the tram back with me, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like, she'd have to, like, cover up her face,
Yeah,
or, you know, like...
Oh man, someone saw me in Monsall. I'm ruined for
know.
life now. Yeah,
Exactly. "Oh man, Facebook's gonna have a right scoop on this." "Spotted Jodie in Monsall," or whatever. "Oh mate, I saw you in Monsall."
Oh, what a dickhead!
Oh god. Just honestly, school kids are the best. They are the absolute.
Oh god,
best.
yeah. The brilliant. Yeah, this is going back a few years though. I was on the way to work, and a lot of school kids get the same transport as me, and there was a load of them at the back saying, "Oh yeah, I did this, I did that, blah, 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 blah. I was absolutely smashed this weekend. Oh man, I had like 4 beers, and then," whatever her name was, Shauna gave me a blowjob. It was I had the best sex ever. And you're 14, go and get your Pokemon cards and fuck off home.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, it's just embarrassing the shit they talk about. And I was thinking to myself, did I ever talk like that when I was at school? I was like, no, I didn't.
No, pretty sure we were just having quite mundane conversations.
Yeah,
really,
probably, yeah.
Now the last one, this is almost a geese drop, but it was basically a preacher in Manchester. Now Manchester is a fascinating beast. Especially when you go up Market Street, it's a litter of people doing like busking, people with acoustic
Street
guitars,
art, yeah.
street art.
I'm just going to interject here. If anyone is listening to this and they busk in Manchester, please don't play your guitar underneath the covered area of Market Street, because the acoustics are awful and you sound terrible. Move about 20 feet up the road so it's outside and people can hear you, and you'll be fine. You'll probably get a bit more money.
I like the disclaimer there,
Yeah,
the little sort of, helping out there, part of Manchester's tourist board.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you've got buskers, you've got beatboxers, you've got street art, you've got living statues, like you say, and then what you'll also get is these guys with a megaphone or a microphone clutching a Bible.
Oh,
basically.
they're my favourite people.
They're excellent, aren't they? Essentially telling us that we're all going to hell when the apocalypse comes, when the fucking rapture comes,
Yeah.
you will all be swept to hell unless you embrace Jesus.
Yeah.
So this guy's going off on himself. Now, I say it's almost a geese drop because basically every fucker could hear him.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I overheard him.
Yeah.
But he's there and he's going, "Who do you worship now? Facebook? Pornography? Ed Sheeran?" What? What's Ed Sheeran done to anybody? I know, yeah, exactly, yeah. But I was thinking, that escalated really, really quickly. It's like, "Oh, get home, fucking get on Facebook, just check my notifications, crack one off to some pornography. Oh man, I'm just gonna chill out to some Ed Sheeran." Like, I felt sorry for the poor bugger. Like, what has he done?
Oh man, it's like the Beatles. Yeah, but Ed Sheeran hasn't been going around going, "I'm bigger than Jesus"
know,
or anything
yeah.
like that, has he? So, poor Ed Sheeran.
But there's this idea that if you want to embrace God or Jesus, then you can't appreciate Ed Sheeran as well. Or people worship him as some sort of deity or something like that. It's great, isn't it?
That's brilliant. That's probably my favourite one. I think that's my favourite one. Similar sort of situation, again going back a few years, and these 3 guys absolutely shut down this preacher in Manchester, because he's marched up and down Market Street giving it the beans and stuff into his megaphone. And these 3 guys, one was Chinese, one was black, one was white, they just were storming up to him, screaming in his face, going, "Asian, black, white and gay, Asian, black, white," and they were all gay, and they would literally like inches from his face just screaming at him, and eventually he just gave up and moved on.
That's amazing.
And everyone's like, "Way!" like this kind of thing, like clapping and stuff like that. But yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. But
That's so funny. Well, Sam, speaking of hometowns,
yes,
I thought we could kind of just riff a little bit about our humble hometown of Oldham.
yeah, we don't do it all that often, so
Not that much.
No.
Now, Oldham has its moments.
Oldham has its moments, especially
You know-
when it snows and everything gets covered up. All the dog shit and the WKD bottles, everything gets covered. It was quite nice.
Exactly. Now, of course, Oldham has. I think in my lifetime, I've only known of one kind of Oldham mascot.
Yeah.
And it's now I don't know if he actually has a name. I think everyone just refers to him as just the homeless guy. But he actually died a few years back. Didn't
he was called Rambo.
Was he actually called Rambo?
Well, he wasn't actually called Rambo. That's what everyone called him.
Everyone called him, right.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fascinating, really, because all I remember is he used to go about the streets telling everybody that Russians were going to invade Britain.
Yeah.
That was his kind of thing.
That was his shtick, yeah. That was
and
pretty much,
was it true that he like slept in a tent in the living room of his house or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. There were loads of rumours abound. One of them was that, because we'd always see him marching around Oldham, like sort of Oldham around on the outskirts of the town centre and stuff like that. There were rumours that he slept in a tent inside a house in a living room, and then there was other rumours that he actually stayed with his sister, but he was only allowed to sleep there, so she kicked him out in the morning. Which apparently she lived in like Diggle or Delft or something like that, which is a fair trek from Oldham, and he'd walk all the way to Oldham, have a bit of a ramble around Oldham, and then walk back again, and that was the story basically. Yeah.
And I just remember he'd always have his coat. Yeah, he used to wear that green minging coat all year round.
Yeah.
That was tied up with a piece of string.
Yeah.
He'd usually have a carrier bag as well.
Yeah, carrying stuff around.
Every so often when I saw him eating like pie and chips or something like that, I felt, at least he's getting a meal. At least he's eating well, you know.
Yeah.
But Oldham is kind of like, it's this small little town that essentially the crux of it, like if you want to talk about like the epicenter, like the power and the force behind Oldham that keeps it going as somehow a narrow sort of respectable sort of town, is Debenhams, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And that's essentially all we have in terms of a fucking respectable shop, and everywhere else you just see these empty units, betting shops, pound shops,
kebab shops, charity shops,
and crazy corn. Right?
Crazy corn.
There's been a right. I'd love to know if anybody else in their town has these crazy corn stands. Now, it's either known as crazy corn or it's known as corn floss, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just a little stand that sells just these various flavoured types of corn.
Yeah, you can get plain corn. You can get barbecue corn. Yeah, you can get chili corn. Yeah, it's very different. Basically, what it is, it's corn in a cup, and the guy there, usually a small little guy who never says anything to you, just grunts at you, puts it in a little bowl, puts the flavoured powder on top of it, whatever spice it happens to be, mixes it up, puts it in a cup, and takes you £2, and off you go.
Yeah.
Eat your crazy corn.
But this thing, like, the average shop in Oldham lasts about 6 months before it's boarded up or it's gone into liquidation or you're having a 70% off sale.
Pretty much, yeah.
Everything must go. But for some reason, crazy corn has stood the test of time. I don't know if there's some sort of, like, something else going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, I'd imagine if Oldham was like the setting for a fantasy video game, like the guy at the crazy corn stand would be like some sort of
he's the one that give you your missions,
exactly,
your side missions,
some sort of shaman, almost, or like he's like the unsuspecting traveller who like you go through all these missions, but then you suddenly realise at the end, oh no, it was the man at the crazy corn stand that counted all along.
You know what it'd be? You'd go up to him and you go, I need some information on this, and he goes, it'd be like Tony Hawk's. It was like, you have to grind 4 rails and collect my my spices, and then I'll tell you what you need to do.
Oh, that was brilliant. That on fucking Tony Hawk's like, hey, you look like a local skater punk kid. I need you to grind this rail 18 times to scare those pigeons away, and then I'll give you a secret token that'll get you to the next level.
Thing is, though, Oldham's kind of like it's in the middle of a rejuvenation at the moment, isn't it? Because like we've had the town basically been talking about building a cinema in Oldham since I can remember, and the town hall has now been converted into an Odeon cinema, and it's really, really nice, isn't it? Inside,
totally,
And sometimes we get free drinks and free popcorn. We get upgraded if you what's she called, Billy?
Billy,
yeah.
There's what's the other girl as well? Mill, is it? I think it's Mill. I think
Mill,
she likes us as well.
Yeah, if you can flutter the old eyelashes at Mill or Billy, then you get upgraded.
Yeah,
great. So they've got the cinema now, and then there's 3 restaurants on the outside. There's there's Gourmet Burger Kitchen, which is amazing. There's a Nando's standard if you're feeling cheeky, And then there's Molina Lounge as well, which is part of the Loungers group. So, you know, and there's then across the way, there's the Smokehouse as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
the Smoke Yard, sorry. And so that kind of area is really, really nice. But then you sort of go sort of like 20 yards down the road and it just goes minging again with all these horrible, horrible shops.
The only saving grace as you enter the outskirts of Oldham is Naughty Frango's.
Oh, Naughty Frank. Hey, did you know it's in Kingston where they do Open All Powers?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Naughty Frango's there as well.
God.
I thought it was just like one thing.
Yeah. As if it's a franchise.
As if it's I thought, but yeah, apparently it's a franchise, yeah.
It's almost like our Big Belly Burger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, from Flash.
Oh my god. So, have you got anything else about Oldham?
Well, basically, I discovered a nice link, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I'll call that out. But I just wanted to tell you anyway. I discovered a website quite a while back that's called the Nowhere Guide.
Right.
Well, basically, the Nowhere Guide is like a really sort of dumbed down version of TripAdvisor where people can offer reviews, opinions, comments, anything they want about a town or an area. Now, you can search for your area, so you can narrow it down. I narrowed it down to Oldham, for example, and there'll be categories like hookup spots, hangout areas, drinking parks, like things like really, really bizarre things.
Is this written by a 15-year-old or something like that with a bottle of White Ace?
When you hear some of the things that have been written down, you might possibly wonder that.
All right, okay then.
But under the category of every town, there's also a category of the worst bits, which is obviously what we're interested in. We want to know the glowing reviews. We want to know
what the worst bits are, yeah.
So I've kind of taken a few different areas. So we've got Saddleworth, we've got Rochdale, we've got Manchester, and we've got Oldham. So all areas within. So this is stuff that people have genuinely written. Okay, so we'll start with Saddleworth. Now, Saddleworth is a bit more of an upmarket area, village, you know.
Nice shops.
Little tea rooms, things like that. You know, there's a museum. It's more of your kind of your Sunday day out sort of area.
Yeah.
So this is something that somebody wrote about Saddleworth.
Okay.
Online bulletins such as this, quote unquote, otherwise, with a Z, quote unquote, is, quote unquote, Donite, and quote unquote, Dob Cross Massive. Can you please do something to encourage the correct use of English? This is Saddleworth, not Los Angeles. I tell you, Sam, the amount of times I've been walking through Saddleworth and I thought that it was Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like
Dob Cross Massive.
Dob Cross Massive. Yeah, I want to know who's in the Dob Cross Massive. I know, yeah. It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh man, I actually saw quite recently graffitied on the side of a wall Springhead Crew. We live in a little area called Springhead, and yeah, Springhead Crew. I'd love to know who's in the Springhead Crew.
I remember
and whether they've ever had a rap battle with the Dob Cross Massive.
With the Dob Cross Massive, yeah, like a don't flop kind of thing, yeah. Well, I remember when I was at school, the school got graffitied with the letters LRC, and basically we found out that it stood for the Lees Rioting Crew. That's right, the Lees Rioting Crew, which I just think is absolutely superb. And there was all this, like, oh my god, who's the Lees Rioting? As if it was like the new, like, fucking Blazing Squad or something like that. So now we go into Rochdale, as the aforementioned Rochdale. So this
was another thing in Rochdale. I got asked, this young girl comes up to me, maybe around 14, 15, something like that. Hey mate, you got a fag? I was like, no, sorry, I don't smoke. What are you in Rochdale for then? Oh yeah.
What are you in Rochdale?
As if that's the you pass the border and you're like, oh man, I forgot my Bensons. Oh shit, what am I going to do now? I'll just go back across the border into Oldham, get myself a packet of cigarettes, and then go back again, and I'll be all right. I won't get shanked whilst I'm in Rochdale.
I was going to say, like, I like the idea you get patted down at border control. Like, this guy's clean, right? Give him a bag of cocaine then, or something like that. So Rochdale, this is, again, the worst bits. These are some comments. So this guy decides to just rhyme off a few things that he hates. The poverty. The mouthy, thieving little kids. 13-year-old single mums. The racism from all races. Litter. The prostitutes. The crime.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like some poetry, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And now this is excellent. So we go.
Actually, that could be like it could be the thing. It could be a thing for a movie, that couldn't it? Like on the back of it, so just like
the poverty,
Rochdale, the poverty, the mouthing, thieving little kids, 13-year-old single mums, litter, the prostitutes, the crime.
Starring Danny Dyer.
I got propositioned by a prostitute.
I think you're going to say you got propositioned by Danny Dyer.
No, I got propositioned by a prostitute in.
Oh, did you really?
In Rochdale? Yeah, I was coming home from Bury. I had to get the last tram home. Coming home from Bury, it was someone's leaving do, so birthday, so I had a night out. coming home, this woman stood in like where you go up to the tram. There's like a ramp, and then it like there's a 90-degree angle where the station sticks out a little bit, and she was stood in that corner like. So she was like lower down than everybody. I don't know if she didn't have to kneel while giving head or something like that. Anyway, so she was like, so she was stood there. She's like, "All right, love, looking for a party." And I'm just like, no, I am not.
I'm also not looking for several VDs.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So anyway, so this is a really good one.
Is this still in Rochdale?
This is still in Rochdale.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and put in the inflection that I think the person wrote this with.
All right, go on.
2/3 of Rochdale folk. Now, first of all, he's being specific. 2/3. I don't know if he's done like some sort of statistic survey. 2/3 of Rochdale folk are very, very ugly and very, very stupid. They insist on wearing fake sports clothing and cheap jewellery and producing 6 kids by the age of 19. I was raised here and I'm deeply ashamed.
Pretty much sums it up.
Now this guy just comes in with just simply scally twats and mingers. Now this is a good one as well. Scally twats and mingers. Yeah,
That's the best one.
It's simple. It's simple. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes simply said, does it?
Oh, okay.
Now this person's just put the Nile sucks ass. Now I don't know if the Nile is like a bar or something like that.
I guess it's a club or something like that.
I will just veer off from this a moment and just say when I first discovered this website, it was a mate from an old job of mine, and I can't remember where he was from, but he was searching for his hometown. It was really funny because he was looking at the nightlife section,
right?
And there was a bar that someone was talking about, and we'll call it the Red Lion, just for argument's sake. So they put, the Red Lion is great. The new ownership are really, really fantastic. They don't allow all those chavvy, horrible scumbags into the bar. Then the following comment right after it was, the Red Lion is sucks. The new owners won't let any of me and my mates in. It's great.
Oh, brilliant.
So we've got Manchester, the worst bits.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a few here. So we've got Manchester thinks it's a tall glass of champagne when all it is urine in a plastic cup. Beautiful analogy there.
Beautifully written, yeah.
Now this one goes on.
Depends which beer you get from the Apollo.
I know, yeah, exactly.
That comes in a plastic cup, and yes, most of the time it tastes like urine.
If it's the lukewarm Beck's.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh God, I hate Beck's.
Yeah. Now here we go. Manchester is a complete tip, on a par with Birmingham of one of the worst cities in the UK. I can't believe people like it. The vagrants on the street are about the only interesting thing there. Otherwise, it is just a concrete, soulless clothes shop for all the uneducated, materialistic fools among us and smokers everywhere. The air is thick with their pollution. I would go so far as stating that this city could actually induce depression. It is a home for the detritus of not just the UK but the world. What a horrible hole. Visited August 2016.
Nice.
Yeah. Now this is a good follow.
I don't think Manchester smells like tobacco anymore.
No.
All you get is strawberry vape or poppers.
Yeah, strawberry vape is the usual one.
Yeah, strawberry vape, and you hear the faint sound of fidget spinners now. So yeah, it's pretty much like the smell of vaping, and like I say, you can walk from one end of Market Street to the other and you get that strong smell of poppers from the night before.
I was gonna say, like, if you like go to like a high level building, the vape clouds in Manchester basically will make the city look like the dawn of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
It looks like suddenly we've gone back to coal as our main source of fuel.
It does, yeah. You'd be walking out and there's this huge plume of smoke comes. Oh, I didn't know the Flying Scotsman was coming through Manchester today. This huge plume of smoke. Oh, blueberry, very nice. This guy's classy.
Bubblegum flavor, yeah. So we've got this is a good one. See that these sometimes it's the simple ones which really cut to the real matter of the city. Yeah. Them girls are as rough as arseholes.
Is that it?
Just yeah. So this is a good one. Yuck. I've just returned from a visit to Manchester and I feel quite soiled. Like, what, is he shit himself? Someone shit in his pants? I'm just going to have a long soak and try to forget the filthy people who are everywhere. Yuck and double yuck. That's the bit that really hurts, the double yuck.
Oh my God.
This one, scallies, ... The little tinkers might stab you, you know.
Oh, those little tinkers.
Those
Just
little
having a bit of jape. I got stabbed 3 times, those little hooligans.
Oh, no, those little rapscallions. Yeah.
Oh, they're just having fun. Boys will be boys.
This is the last Manchester one.
All right.
The smell of exhaust, curry, pizza, and dead tramp that wafts along Wilmslow Road. So specific.
Dead tramp.
Dead tramp, yeah. That's a new vape flavour, isn't it? Yeah. Strawberry, blueberry, no, dead tramp. Yeah, I love it, yeah. Now we get to the creme de la creme. This is where we get to Oldham. Now,
Oldham.
I cherry picked because not some of them were just like, it's a bit of a shithole, but obviously you had to go with like the kind of the more amusing ones.
Yeah.
So one person for Oldham has just put the accent. Oh my god, the accent. Even a reasonably intelligent person can sound dumb with an Oldham accent. I hate listening to it, but I suppose if I want to get a decent education in this evil, I'll have to put up with it. And then the final comment, the never-ending drizzle. Which is so apt because it is fucking drizzling right now.
Yeah, it is raining right now. Oh my god, that's genius.
Absolutely,
that's absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you a good story from Oldham. This is going back years when we were in college. And we'd come back, this is before we could go to pubs and stuff like that and drink legally. So we'd gone out to the cinema, and the 4 of us, there was me, there was Dean, there was Jamie Collins, and there was the Momac actually with us. And on the way home, for some reason, our tradition was to get Florida fried chicken. Now, if you've ever been to Oldham, you'll go along Union Street and Market Street, and you've got Kentucky fried chicken, Florida fried chicken, Montana fried chicken. What's the other one? There's another one, isn't there? I think there's about 5 altogether.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other one
is. So everyone's named after a state. Anyway, so we're in Florida fried chicken. And just next door to it, it was Oldham's one and only strip club that's ever appeared in my lifetime, and it was called Niagara.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we were stood there at the counter and we're waiting for our chicken burgers to arrive. Anyway, door goes, and as you do, turn around, and there's this girl there, about 4 foot nothing, all this flab hanging over, wearing a bra and hot pants.
Oh my god.
And we all turn around like, what the hell's going on? She's like, I've come for a collection.
No.
And we were like, so she's come from next door. She's obviously phoned ahead, ordered some chicken burgers or whatever, and not bothered to throw a coat on, just come in her underwear.
Me.
And I was just like, what the hell? So we turned, and we were like, oh my god, turn back again, just in. And the guy behind the counter who was looking at us was like, giving us the eye and going, yeah, all right, this is awesome, yeah. And we were just going, no. Oh god, yeah. Shut down about 2 weeks later, I think.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. There was actually another one that never actually opened. Do you know where Bamboogie is? Yeah. Just next door to that, there was an empty unit. It was like, I don't know what they'd called it. It was like Oldham's premier lap dancing club. And they had posters in the window for absolutely ages wanting strippers, like lap dancers and stuff like that. And no one ever applied. It never opened or anything like that. No, presumably no one ever applied for it, and it just shut down. Yeah?
Did you not fancy moonlighting?
I didn't know.
No.
Not at all. No, I don't do lap dances at all. I'm bed or nothing. No.
I can imagine you being behind one of those screens that you have to put money in, and it
goes up.
It goes up. Yeah. Give a little bit of a tease. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Jesus, I remember I went to a strip club with I was out in Leeds and I was with a couple of guys, a couple of likely lads. In fact, Open Up Powers, their reporter in the field, Benji Bullshit Smith.
Oh yeah.
So I was actually out with him.
It seems the sort that would go to a strip club.
Oh yeah, you can imagine, And we went in, and all of a sudden Benji spots this girl. Oi, I went to school with you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh yes, and this girl was just fucking mortified. So of course Benji decided, I'll be delicate about the situation. So, what are you up to these days? While she stood there in fucking nipple tassels and a thong and a high heels.
He didn't get to do a dance for him.
I don't think he did.
Thank God.
But the evening became even more memorable over the fact that now, if for anybody who knows me and my history with women, I am basically what's referred to as the king of the friend zone.
Yeah.
I have been friend zoned so many times. It is just embarrassing. And I managed to befriend one of the strippers. Like, I was just sat there chilling, because the thing is, like, with strip clubs, like, there's an element. Like, you go in, the first time I ever went to a strip club, you go in and you're like, oh, brilliant, yeah, this is great, yeah, women dancing around a pool. And then you just realise how seedy it is.
Yeah.
And just, these girls come up to you and it's like, oh, hey, big boy, you're so handsome. And it's just a fucking script, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just some part of me just doesn't get it in a way.
I can't see the appeal of. I can't see the appeal. Obviously, it's a naked woman and stuff like that. But if you walk in with your 20, 30, 40 quid or whatever, you pay for a dance. This naked woman's ranging all over you. You get like really, really aroused, and then she leaves, and then you've got to go home with a semi.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right, okay, then that was a bit pointless, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. I think that's the thing as well. It's a strange scenario. But I was basically just sat down with a beer. I was just chilling. Benji was off doing whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this girl, she just kind of sat there and she's just like, oh, just having a bit of a break. And to be fair, she was beautiful as well. She was gorgeous, this girl. And we're just talking. We started talking about music. We started talking about this, that, and the other, just life in general. and we're just like having a normal conversation. Anyways, we're leaving. She gives me like a big hug and a kiss on the cheek. And then we get out and Ben's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Can I not take you to a room filled with scantily clad women whose job it is to pretend to be attracted to you, to range all over you without friend zoning somebody? I'm just like, it's just how I do, man. It's just how I fucking do. Like, we had this vision of us like meeting up for a coffee the next morning, you know, and talking about our life's dreams and aspirations and shit like that. But it was anyway. What the hell we were talking about? I actually we were on Oldham Strip Club. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So moving on to another little segment. This is me and Sam have kind of discussed this before, but we thought we could kind of have a bit of a compare and contrast, a bit of a then and now kind of thing over the fads that we had when we were at school. Now, me and Sam are 90s kids through and through. That's right, that was a kiss of the fist and then pump in the air, obviously.
We didn't kiss each other,
that would be really strange, actually. I'm glad we explained that, actually, yeah. And there was just so many fads, so many things that got banned from schools.
Oh, yeah.
So what I did was I compiled a bit of a list.
All right.
Of a few of the things that I could remember. By all means, when we get to the end, if there's anything else you remember,
can I see if I can name them?
Oh, right,
how many have you got on there?
Okay, right. I'll tell you what. I have got. Let me grab a pen.
See how many I can actually remember.
So I've got 18 altogether.
18. Okay, no worries. Let me see if I can. See how many I can get.
Right. Well, what I'll do is I'll give you a bit of help in the sense that some of them were like faddy toys.
Okay.
Some of them were just kind of cheapo sort of newsagent things that people used to take into school.
Yeah.
But also, I've got as well more kind of your Argos catalogue, you know, kind of Christmas present toys as well.
Right. Okay.
That kind of thing as well. So I've got a bit of a mix.
All right. Okay.
So yeah. See if you can.
So we'll go with Pokemon cards.
Shit, I didn't put Pokemon cards down.
Really?
How did I fucking forget Pokemon cards?
Oh man.
Right, I better write that down.
Get that one on the slate, bro. Can't believe you didn't have Pokemon cards.
I don't know how I didn't remember. How I didn't.
I'm gonna go Tamagotchi.
I've got that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna go with Tazos.
Yeah, I've got Tazos.
Yeah. Is Tazos in the same category as Pogs?
No, I did that as separate. All right. So Pogs. Yeah.
Pogs. Yeah. I'm gonna go Yo-Yos.
Yo-Yos. Got that one. Yeah.
Nice. What else was there? Sticker books.
I didn't have sticker books. We'll put that down. Yeah.
What else was there? Let's have a see. I'm trying to think of like kind of like girls and boy ones, because I know there was like the friendship bracelet. Oh, Scoobies. Is Scoobies on there?
I didn't have Scoobies. Well, Scoobies
was a bit later.
I was gonna say it was only sort of a few years ago that Scoobies were kind of. They were the you made bracelets out of
plastic strings. See, I remember them being at high school. Not so much at primary school though. What else was there? Shag bands. I'm guessing
shag bands. I got shag bands. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. The rules and stipulation. Oh, if you broke the red one, you have to give him a blowjob. Yeah. Like, who enforces these rules? I'll take you to the High Court.
Yeah, the Shag Band High Court. Yeah.
That'd be a good name for a band. That
it would be. Yeah, the Shag Band High Court. Yeah.
I think I'll write that one down.
Oh God, I'm trying to think what else. Tamagotchis, but a yo-yo. I remember yo-yos being massive.
So do you remember my mad skills with a yo-yo?
Yes, yeah, and we'll tell everyone what happened to your yo-yo as well when we get onto it. Oh God, I can't think of any more off the top of my head right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll go through my list. So I had Trolls.
Yeah, all right.
They were huge.
Oh, actually, Beanie Babies. You got those on there?
I didn't have Beanie Babies.
Thing is, though, that wasn't really a school thing, though, was it? It was more just like a collector's thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Now, just kind of toys and such, like, and kind of things, crazies. Do you remember Talk Boys and Talk Girls?
Yeah.
Effectively the same piece of apparatus, just in a different colour.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you could record yourself on it and play music and shit like that.
Yeah, it was from, I think thing you want at Home Alone.
Exactly, yeah. But do you remember when you got for Christmas the Cybertron 3000,
Yeah.
they called?
Yeah.
Which were these bomb-ass, like, walkie-talkie headsets.
They were brilliant. They were so
good. I remember finding them in, like, a pile of old crap. Like, oh, brilliant, let's crack it on. And it was like, clearly it doesn't fit my head anymore. Not because I have an enormous cranium, but...
because it's tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mood rings. Do you remember mood rings?
Yeah, I remember mood rings, yeah.
So these were these little plastic jobbies that change colour dependent on your mood,
yeah,
basically.
allegedly, yeah.
It basically responded to sweat and body heat and shit like that, didn't it? Yeah. So snap bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can still buy in most gift shops. If you go to like a tourist attraction gift shop, you can usually buy snap bracelets. There's a good on inflatable furniture.
Oh god, yes! I had an inflatable settee, chair. What the fuck was the point that you sat here? Oh god, it was so noisy. That thing was ridiculous.
I remember you used to sit in your inflatable chair listening to your CD of dolphin music.
Yeah. Actually, it was a cassette.
Oh god,
and it was white. The plastic was white. Yeah,
that made it limited edition. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh god, honestly, it just made me think of that episode of Frasier where Niles is staying with Frasier. And he switches on.
He puts his jungle music on, rainforest music. Yeah.
Niles is like, "Can you hear something?" And Frasier goes, "I'm surprised you can hear it over there at Mission Control."
He's got all the air purifiers on.
Oh fuck! What was that episode I was watching the other day? Oh shit! I was gonna mention this actually. Oh, give me a second. Oh, bollocks. Oh, it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. I was watching a really funny episode of Frasier. Anyway, yeah, so Hubba Bubba Bubblegum.
Oh, yeah.
That was all the rage.
Yeah.
Everybody loved a bit of Hubba. Like, you'd go to the sweet shop after school, you'd either get Hubba Bubba, you'd get an Iron Brew refresher bar,
yeah.
Or you'd get a candy necklace, which, of course, you only ever used to launch
pieces of candy at people,
people, exactly, yeah. So, yeah, Pogs, Tazos, poppers, not as in the fucking drug, but...
Yeah.
Those
those things you turn inside out. Yeah, they were like... It was like a little dome, and you turn it inside out, and you put it down on the table, and it popped up. And you could get fucking massive ones as well, and they were really shit. You wanted, like, the really cheap... Small ones, yeah. And then you knew your pop was on the way out when you started to get a split down the middle.
Yeah. Basically.
Oh, bouncy balls. Is that on there?
I didn't have bouncy balls, but no, that was... I don't know. I think that's just been a thing that's been around for a while.
Marbles. You got marbles on there?
No, but I don't know. Marbles is a little bit old school.
Marbles is old school, but we had them... I remember having them at school because we used to race them down the hill.
Really?
Yeah.
I just imagine marbles being something that kids are playing in like a Dickens novel or something like that.
After they finish playing Stick and Hoop.
Stick and fucking hoop. Yeah, Monsters in My Pocket.
Oh, yeah. You used to get them free with cereal.
Yeah, that was the one, yeah. God, what happened to the free fucking... Actually, we did get something free in a cereal box a while back. It was like a spoon that turned into a straw or some shit like that.
All right,
but
okay.
it wasn't in with the actual cereal. It was like down the side, probably health and safety disallowed.
This is a health and safety thing, and it's exactly the same reason that they don't sell Kinder eggs in America.
Oh, really?
It's like a health and safety thing. You can't have food touching plastic.
Wow.
Or it's something along those lines. You can't have food touching like processed plastic or something like that. And that's why, because obviously the toys, they used to come in like a plastic packet, didn't they? Or whatever it happened to be. And yeah, so that's why they're on the outside of the packet now rather than the inside.
Well, I'll be down. Polly Pocket / Mighty Max.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
They were all the rage.
And I remember having like we had like some dinosaur themed Mighty Max, I think, didn't we? At some point.
Yeah, you had. No, I had the Tyrannosaurus Rex one that opened up because the beak was the beak of a. It was a Triceratops, sorry.
Yeah.
And the pterosaur, the beak of the pterosaur stuck out the model, and that was the horn. Yeah, It was really cool. I loved that.
Awesome. Now this is a good one. This has there's a special place in my heart for this one. Popper trousers. Now these were the obnoxious, horrendous tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah.
That were like Diodora or Adidas or whatever that had poppers going down the side for some reason.
All the way from your hip, all the way down to your ankle. Why?
Absolutely useless.
Yeah.
And I remember going to one of the many school discos that we had, and I thought that I was like the bee's knees in my fucking popper trousers and probably like my, I don't know, Diodora hoodie and my high-tech trainers or something like that. Why, man?
Oh God, I don't know.
Absolutely awful. Now this is a classic one. This Aliens.
Oh, the aliens in the egg, and you put them together, and they gave birth.
They no, they really didn't. Yeah, if there's any '90s kids listening to this, they'll know exactly what we're talking about because, of course, these little jelly, little rubbery aliens that you stuck together, and there was always that one kid at school who claimed to have actually made babies out of them. Just basically, I think the '90s were just about scamming children out of their pocket money with useless stuff.
Oh,
basically.
useless shit. Yeah. Well, basically, these aliens came in a plastic egg that was full of slime, and where the alien had been cut off the plastic sprue or whatever it was flat on the back. And this rumour went around that if you got two of them and put those two flat edges together, then it would form another one. It would make a baby alien. And it never did. It never would. So why? How did this ever come about?
It's like you used to buy these things from newsagents for about $3.99.
Yeah.
To say like this is a sort of, I don't know, some sort of cloning process, like I don't know, like terraforming ability here out of these shitty little rubber aliens.
Yeah.
Absolutely useless. And then the final one that I had was tech decks.
Oh, tech decks!
I used to love tech decks.
Tiny little toolkit to swap your trucks over and your wheels and stuff like that. You were a demon on a tech deck, you.
I used to love I used to absolutely love playing with my tech deck. And do you remember there was a skate brand, and I think it was called Blind?
Yeah,
do you
Blind,
remember?
yeah.
I actually had a Blind tech deck that I got from like Argos or whatever. It was probably about a tenner. Like, it came with the exchangeable wheels and shit like that. And you used to like loosen the trucks and shit like that.
You used to be able to buy little ramps and rails and stuff like that, couldn't you? Yeah.
And then you could get the BMXs, the scooters.
Yeah. The BMXs never took off as much because you couldn't really control them all that well. But yeah, no, you can like watch videos on YouTube of people that still playing with tech decks and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh man,
because
they were great then.
I can remember whenever there was a craze, like something that you could do a skill with, like yo-yos or Scoobies or tech decks, for example, there'd always be a feature of it on Blue Peter.
Oh yeah.
So Blue Peter was now Blue Peter's still going, isn't it? Surely.
I think it's an online thing.
Is it an online thing?
Yeah, I think it's like an online magazine now. Yeah.
Get in touch with the millennials, of course. Yeah. So of course, Blue Peter was kind of like the after school sort of magazine show. Wasn't it? And
pretty much.
They used to have a studio, and they used to do craft, but they'd also have segments they'd have news round with Lizzo.
Yeah.
And it was. It
probably showed you how to make a tech deck arena out of
paper mache
cereal boxes. Yeah, I remember one time when Beyblades were coming big, they showed you how to make a Bay arena.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you had to basically get a bowl, put some plastic wrap on the inside of it, like cling film, and then paper mache it so it wouldn't stick and stuff like that, and then you could take it out, and that was your arena. I should imagine the weight that Beyblades were, it would just destroy that arena.
Oh god, yeah. Well, let's talk. What did we use for our Beyblade arena, Sam?
Oh well, we used Mum's wok. Now, when we were a bit younger, and we were both still living at home, Mum and Dad would go out, they'd go shopping, and I'd look at Gaz, and Gaz would look at me, and I'd go, "Get the wok."
Oh yeah.
But this is back in the day when the weights of them were metal.
Oh yes.
And they weighed an absolute ton, these things. So we'd let them fly in this wok that was in the shape of a Bay arena and go ding 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 ding. All the way around this wok, absolutely destroyed it. And then after about 3 weeks of this, I had a what was it? It wasn't Dron. No, it was Drons. I had Dron, and it was blue plastic. And after about 3 weeks of this, I caught the wok in the light. I was like, oh shit! And Gareth was like, what? And there were blue marks all the way around the edge of the wok, just like on the outside of it. Oh my god! And we just tried desperately to clean it, just could not get it off.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it was. I think you did actually buy a plastic one at one point.
Yeah, I bought a plastic one at one point. Yeah.
But we used to have a right blast with the Beyblades.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah.
So, but as well, freaking lethal thing.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, if it was still spinning, you went to go and pick it up. You take a few layers of skin off your fingers, picking those things up. It was deadly. Yeah.
But I think there was a general theme of high velocity objects that could potentially injure you. Like I remember, so I'm playing with my yo-yo, and you used to be able to do. I think people used to call it a spinner or a sleeper.
Sleeper,
It was
yeah.
mainly known as a sleeper, wasn't it? Where you fling the yo-yo as high as you can, and it stays at the bottom, its descent, spinning really quickly on its kind of axis. And if you had bearings,
you have to have ball bearings in it, and how many gears has your yo-yo got? Like, it's not a mountain bike, you dickhead.
Exactly, yeah. So then if you fling it, if that thing came back up again and caught the tips of your fingers,
you'd know about it.
Absolutely came like hell. So painful.
Now, Gareth's looking at me with this look on his face now. He still hates me
Go
for
on,
it.
tell the story, Sam.
Okay, so Gareth had this yo-yo, and it was a really, like, proper wizard yo-yo, wasn't it? It was a really, like, expensive, high-end one. I can't remember what the company was called.
I can't remember. It was called Yo-Tech or something.
Something like that. Yeah, anyway, so Gareth... Can I ever go with your yo-yo, Gareth? Yeah, sure you can. I'm like, I'm going to try around the world. So I'm in the back garden at this point, because it was a nice sunny day. So it was like really, really sunny day, and I'm with the yo-yo. I'm going to go around the world, fling it down. Yeah, sleep it. Yeah, that's fine. Water. Okay, we're going to go for it. So I start spinning it around, and it snaps off the string and just sails. Across about 4 gardens and heard this like tiny clunk on the other side. I'm like, oh crap, and I'm just stood there. We're like about this string hanging off my finger,
just dangling like a rat's tail.
Just dangling there, this broken string. I was just like, oh my god, and I was like, whoa, what was it? What happened? And like, your yo-yo's gone. What? Where is it gone? He's looking on the floor. I'm like, it's about 4 houses down.
I think it's just like this beautiful, majestic moment as it just flew
It just
in the
flew
air.
over the gardens, still spinning. Oh god, we never found it, did we? No.
Oh, did we bollocks? No. Oh god,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
It's probably like still like laying like a field somewhere.
Yeah.
Either that or it like I don't know killed someone and it fall.
Yeah, God, it could have done. It could have hit someone. It could have really hurt.
It had some weight to it, didn't it?
The thing that added insult to injury was about a week before this, we were playing basketball. This was Gareth's basketball net as well that he'd got for Christmas or whatever, or birthday. It was probably birthday. In the back, and I went up to do this wicked slam dunk, hit the rim, and I just pulled the rim off with my hand. I was like, oh, and it was just the rim left in my hand. I was like, oh god, Gareth, I'm so sorry. And then a week later, I lose his fucking yo-yo.
Basically, it's just anything that I had, you would end up with a one part of it left in your hand, basically.
Oh god,
I pray to God you never have to give anybody a hand job. So all of a sudden you've just got this cock in your hand, and it's like, oh shit, sorry. That can be a part of your erotic novel. That can be like the big cliffhanger at the end of book 1, like you're giving someone a hand job, and all of a sudden, well, it doesn't have to be you. It could be you could give yourself a pseudo if you want. You know? See, we've done full circle. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the all-seeing guys. We've gone from erotica to 90s fads.
Do you remember the Tazos, the variation of Tazos you could get, which were you could get the Pogs, and you got Tazos which were plastic with little slits in it, and then you could also get those ones that you could collect from Batman and Robin. Do you not remember? We had a Batman and Robin album, and you could get them in I think it was in crisps or cereal. And they were like polystyrene. They had like a polystyrene centre, and you put them into an album. Do you not remember?
I do not remember these at all. No.
Do you not remember? I'd have to say we've probably got a picture of it somewhere. We both collected them, and we both. I tell you what it was. I think you got them like when you went to supermarkets or something like that. I think you have to if you paid a certain amount, you got a packet of them or something like like you do with those Lego stickers. Now I think they were like that, but Tazos were like massive, weren't they? You used to get those in Walker's Crisps. And because the plastic, the packet was actually inside the crisp, so you'd take it out, and then you'd have to suck the flavour off the plastic,
of course you did,
and then you opened it up.
Proper greasy and everything.
Yeah.
But there was always a theme. Like, so I can remember there was one of the free things in cereals was Star Wars Episode 1 statues.
Yeah.
Remember those? It'd be like a bust figurine of various characters. Then you opened it, and there was a little scroll inside telling you about that character.
Yeah.
And there was always... It was like whatever film was out at the time, whatever big blockbuster, you think, all right, well, that's going to be the free kind of cereal toy.
Yeah. Well, there was the Power Ranger ones. They were well popular, those ones. There was the Batman and Robin Tazo things that obviously you don't remember. But yeah, you're right. It was like whatever the film was, whatever the franchise was, big franchise was at the time, that's what you got. and we'd have to have that cereal.
Oh yeah.
So we could get the toy out of it.
Of course we did, yeah. 'Cause I remember it being like we'd come back from shopping, and the first thing Mum and Dad would do is find the free toy in the cereal.
Yeah.
Like, forget like the raw meat and the fucking milk that sat out.
Yeah,
Like,
you've got to find the
not
toy.
being refrigerated. Get us, our fucking Transformers, bloody spinner or something like that.
The thing, right, okay, so fads have obviously always stuck around, and I was watching quite interesting, there's a YouTube channel called Ashens, we've watched them before, and he reviews stuff. And basically one of the big thing at the moment is fidget spinners.
Sure.
Now, I was kind of like quite offended by fidget spinners. I was like, what's the fucking point? Blah, blah, blah. I was like quite getting agitated about it and stuff like that. And Stuart Ashen was talking about quite interesting thing. He was basically saying that the older generation just hates these, like violently hates new fads that kids are messing around with and stuff like that. And he was saying basically it's a psychological thing that you don't want to admit that you're getting older and you don't understand what this thing is.
Wow.
And it was quite interesting because we had Beyblades, and then there was like Pokemon cards have always been around and stuff like that, and then Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering, that sort of came about, didn't it, a little bit at school and college and stuff like that. But I don't really remember anything from when I was at like late college to university. I don't remember anything sort of appearing then. But then all of a sudden these like fidget spinner things have come in, and you can get all different variations of them and stuff like that. But the thing that gets me is fidget spinners and vape shops together as a thing.
Exactly, yeah.
What is that?
That's it. Well, we're going back to Oldham again. There's a vape bar where you
are shitting.
No,
me.
for seriously, like you go in and basically you sit at the bar and you with your vape and you set, whereas with like you're in a bar, it'd be like basically going into a bar, taking your own glass and saying fill that up with a pint of Heineken or whatever.
Yeah.
You literally like pay X amount of money for a little bit of the syrup of I don't know, like tikka masala flavour or whatever. Put it in your
Tramp.
Dead Tramp, exactly, yeah. I think we need to market that. I think we need to patent pending that straight away. Dead Tramp flavour. I think there's a potential for that to name of the episode. Yeah. Dead Tramp vape flavour. So then you sit there in the bar with your vape, but the best bit is there's a fucking poster on the wall, we sell fidget spinners.
Fucking hell.
And there's another one that says we sell seashells on the seashore. Not really.
Oh, God.
I know what you mean, though, and I think fidget spinners has been, like, the big one that's kind of really sort of taken over, because they originally came about, didn't they, for people with learning disabilities to work on their dexterity.
Yeah.
But now you see people doing tricks with them and balancing on the finger.
Yeah, balancing on your nose, that's a big one, isn't it?
It seems like it's like
You'd be able to get 8 on yours, wouldn't you?
Hey, I see where we went there. But the thing is, though, the weight of the thing is you'd have, if you skewed off and went in your eye, you could bloody blind yourself.
Well, there's loads of different, because you can get like the cheap fidget spinners, like the original, and then now you can get it's called a hand spinner or something like that. Proper like blister packs, and you can change the colours of the bearings in them and everything like that. And it's just like But again, I'm thinking now, what's the hell's the point? But at the time, Mum and Dad when you were playing with the tech deck, changing the wheels and stuff like that, they were probably thinking, what the hell's he doing, kind of thing. Yeah, so.
You can usually tell what the fad of the time is by what those guys, walk up and down Market Street in Manchester with the trolleys. Yeah. There's always some buggers with trolleys walking up and down selling basically cheap knockoff stuff. Yeah. So there's ones with fidget spinners. There's always someone selling those bubble guns.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
And then there's usually, I remember a few years back when like they were selling all like these snapbacks with like YOLO and the only way is Essex or the only way is Manchester, whatever. Yeah. XXXO, that kind of thing.
See, that was kind of a fad, the YOLO thing. But obviously it wasn't a physical thing. It was more like obviously it's like, oh yeah,
saying,
I'm going to eat 5 chilies all at once, YOLO. Yeah, and it was just like, that was weird. Wasn't that kind of fizzled out, didn't it?
Well, the new one is the hashtag something goals.
Oh yeah.
So it'd be like, for example, if we were using a hashtag podcast goals.
Yeah. Squad goals. I fucking hate that.
But the thing is though, like,
I hate when people a group of people refer to themselves as a squad.
Yeah.
Like, really?
I know exactly what you mean
Yeah.
because I can't take it seriously. Like I posted that picture on FaceB a while back of it was before we went to that Fleetwood Mac night, and you were wearing your black afro wig.
Oh yeah.
Because even though we bought it you originally so you looked like Bob Ross
Yeah.
off of Jive Painted, we thought there's a bit of 1970s Lindsay
Lindsay
Buckingham in
yeah.
there. So this photo we're all looking dead seriously. So I put a hashtag squad goals.
Yeah.
Like ironically and as a joke, you know, like we're all stood there looking seriously and you've got a fucking black afro wig on. You know.
Yeah.
But I suppose you could use it in any circumstance.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, well,
vape goals,
yeah.
fidget spinner goals. Yeah.
Well, me, Gareth, and our friend Jamie Collins, who's a massive Simpsons fan, we have a group on WhatsApp where we just basically send each other Simpsons pictures and Simpsons quotes, and the group is called #Simpsons Goals.
Yeah, yeah.
But I did that ironically. It wasn't sort of like, oh, you know, this is kind of serious kind of thing. But yeah, the actual group we had at work, the WhatsApp group we had at work for like sharing information about what was going on and stuff like that, was someone called it #squad goals. Oh no, it was called squad goals #dab. Because dabbing,
that's
what
the thing.
Fuck is that? Oh,
It's great. Isn't
Oh,
it?
man,
it's
yeah.
so bizarre. Well, speaking of strange expressions and
Yeah.
such, like, just gonna take a little segue here. Obviously, the TV program Love Island is on at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I got a text from a friend of mine
Yeah.
telling me that someone who we went to school
No.
with, yeah,
Really?
is on Love Island at the moment, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Which is so weird to like see him now as well, like, you know, and he's the typical Love Island sort of casting as well, you know,
Yeah.
buff as hell, you know, pretty handsome as well.
Yeah.
But I watched that program just because I wanted to see him, I wanted to hear him and look at him, you know,
Yeah.
just to see if I could like remember him and that. And that is fascinating for things people say and
Yeah.
so I'll give you a couple of examples. So when the guys are talking about like trapping off with the girls or like, you know, putting effort into like try and get a girl to like them, that's referred to as grafting.
Oh, grafting, yeah, I've heard that one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we've got there was another. Oh yeah, if you go up to a girl or a girl comes up to you and literally like throws themselves on you, it's like putting it on you. So it's
Right.
like, oh, I'm gonna put it on you, or you need to put it on me, so
Right.
all the girls know that you're mine. That kind of thing.
Right,
You know,
okay,
that,
yeah.
that's another one as well. But it's funny because they're obsessed with banter.
Right.
That's all they're obsessed with. So a lot of these lads are from like Essex. So oh yeah, well I think Katie, yeah, she's got a lot of banter. Yeah, a lot of banter. What about Laura though? Oh nah, she ain't got as much banter. Nah. Katie, loads of banter. All they're obsessed with. They won't say like. I think it's basically a way of saying you're fit. It's like you've got banter.
Right.
It's so weird.
Right. I Bay. That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before anything else.
Before anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the people, I know people who will use it in any sort of situation, like, oh, take a picture on Instagram of their Starbucks coffee, #Bay.
Really?
Yeah. And
Your
it was
coffee's before anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And abbreviations. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What? Hilarious. Why don't you just say hilarious? Don't cut it down. It's hilarious. Or obviously jealous. What was the other one? I can't remember. It was something to do with confidence, or I can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah, that was like massive abbreviations. Just like, not even abbreviation, it was just cutting the end of a word off.
Yeah, it's like a throwback to like the Nokia 3210
Yeah.
texting. Here's a question, right? Nokia 3210, could you text in your pocket?
Of course I could, yeah, I was a demon.
It was like this bizarre like muscle memory skill, wasn't it?
It was mad. I could do it without. I could do it whilst watching TV as well. I could do it. Yeah, could quite easily text whilst it was in my pocket. It looked like I was playing myself. My thumb had a 6-pack because I had to press. I had to press 7 so many times to access an S. But yeah, no, I could do.
Is that why you started calling Samantha Babe instead of just Sam or Samantha because you had to work for the damn S?
Yeah.
B is just a number 2. Yeah.
B and A. No, it would be a number 1, wouldn't it? No, it would be a number 2. Yeah. So it'll press number 2 3 times. Yeah. So, but instead of having to wait for it to load on to the next one, you press 0 and that gives you space, and then a backspace, and then you go on to your A.
Oh,
so it was quicker to do it that way than wait.
Oh, Jesus. That was like, I think that was a skill of our generation as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I can't text. I can text reasonably quickly on a smartphone.
Yeah.
But on an old school, like, button phone.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, absolute demon.
Yeah.
I've just remembered what Frasier episode I was thinking. I don't know what made me think about it, but it's the one where Frasier, Niles, Daphne, and when Marty's with Ronnie and they all go out for a meal and Frasier's on his own.
Oh yeah.
And he asked the waiter, what can I ask what the lover's bruschetta is, please? And he goes, it is a sharing stir. One bruschetta for you, one bruschetta for your lover. And he goes, could I have that for one, please? He goes, I don't understand. As in one bruschetta for me, as in no bruschetta for my lover. And then that guy gets up and he says, tonight me and my wife are celebrating 60 years of glorious marriage. I would be honoured if you would all join us for a dance.
Yeah.
So they're all swaying and that. And he goes, oh, for God's sake, just go and dance.
Oh God, I love that episode.
It's so good. Fucking Frasier, man. We were talking the other day, weren't we, about that one where Niles thinks he's depressed.
Oh yeah.
And he's going, and I found you with your head in the oven. It's an electric oven, Niles. What do you think I was going to do? Broil myself?
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ! Shall we move on to our next segment?
I think we should. Yeah. Well, we've talked enough about erotica, so I think it's time for wankety wank.
I'm on the male sex. These are my male sex.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows how the format of this works, so we've got we were originally going to do quite a long monologue from something like The Flash or something like that, but we've gone with the monologue that Morpheus gives to Neo in The Matrix, where he's explaining what The Matrix is. Okay, so I'm going to read this section out.
Yep.
And Gareth is going to read the results which you've pulled from
PornMD.
PornMD, you've done it PornMD again.
So basically, so for anyone who doesn't know, PornMD is essentially a website that gives you real-time sort of updates of what people are searching for in free porn streaming sites, essentially. So like a Mad Lib style thing, we're going to replace certain words. So Sam, imagine, so this is, if anyone who doesn't remember the movie too well, this is the scene where Neo gets plugged into the Matrix for the first time and he takes him into like the construct. And he's
they're in that white room and they're basically Morpheus explaining to Neo what it is. So
okay, go.
Here we go. We only have bits and pieces of information, but what we know for certain is that at some point in the early 20th century, all of mankind was united in celebration. We marvelled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to
cutting penis horror.
What? A single consciousness that spawned an entire race of
anal virgin pain.
We don't know who struck first, us or them, but we know that it was us that scorched the
surprise granny.
At the time, they were dependent on
sloppy long tongue deep throat.
Why is it so specific? And it was believed that they would be unable to survive without an energy source as abundant as
Amazon bitches.
Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive. Fate, it seems, is not without a sense of
black pussy spread.
The human body generates more bioelectric than a 120 volt battery and over 25,000 BTUs of body heat combined with a form of
fingering in shit.
Oh God! The machines had found all the
ultimate lesbian squirting
they would ever need. There are fields, Neo, endless fields where
guys with two dicks
no longer part their crowd. For the longest time I wouldn't believe it, but then I saw the
rabbit in ass.
With my own eyes, watch them liquefy the dead so they could be fed intravenously to the
horse with a woman.
I was standing there facing the pure horrifying precision and came to realise the obvious of the truth. What is the Matrix?
Execution women sex.
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into...
Big natural horny mums. Honestly,
Christ.
Granny comes up all the time. It is mad how it honestly, like, I pray for what goes through these people's minds.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
When they're searching for things like fingering and shit.
Oh, God, that's disgusting. Wait, let me have a look. Hang on a second. Oh, my God. Where was that sloppy, long, deep... Amazon... They were Amazon bitches. Oh, God.
Great, isn't it?
Horse with a woman. What the hell is cutting penis horror?
Christ knows. Oh yeah, lots of bloody anal pain as well.
Oh,
that comes up quite a lot as well.
Grim, man.
Yeah. So Sam, we're kind of cracking on a little bit now. Should we finish with an agony aunt?
Excuse me, can I ask you a question? I don't want your advice. I don't want it. I don't need to listen to your talk to me. I don't want your advice. Just think you should marry the dog and be happy. I don't need to know what you have to say.
Disclaimer, do not take our advice. If you do, we'll not be held accountable for inevitable heartbreak. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just bring one up for you. So we decided to go with the Sunday Sport Agony Aunt page.
Obviously.
So
only quality journalism you get on there, Sam.
So I'm going to read this one for you. Dear all-seeing guys, me and an old mate have always had a thing about women with blowjob lips. Over the year, we'd stand in the pub and oogle women with large mouths and fantasize that they were clamped around our bulbous bell ends. Nothing came for it except for one night in Manchester's gay village, which I'd rather not go into. Should I tell my sexually boring wife about my oral desires?
Oh my God. Bulging blowjob lips.
Yeah.
But I can kind of understand where he's kind of coming from with that.
Yeah.
I would suggest that he possibly keeps it to himself.
Yeah.
Buys like one of those fleshlight
Oh,
things.
fleshlight thing, with a mouth on it.
With like, see if he can get like an extra large and basically just jack himself off, I imagine, you know?
Yeah, it'd probably be easier, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe see if he can find some sort of amicable agreement, because his wife might be into like, I don't know, like really sloppy oral or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, what did we have on the sloppy long tongue deep throat, you know? From Wankety Wang.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe find like an amicable agreement. You know, I want some blowjobs in the gay village from some big lips.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if you want to hook up with someone who's got like a ridiculously large tongue, like a Gene Simmons kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Then crack on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the answer that Crystal has put, Crystal is the agony aunt, is why not treat her to a long sensual oral sex session, then ask her to return the favour.
Oh, that's probably a much more suitable solution.
A much more suitable solution. But yeah, give it the old 69 both at the same time. That'll be it. But, you know, I wouldn't be stood in a pub sort of looking at a girl going, you know what, I'd love her to go down on my bulbous bell end.
Yeah, if I was in the pub, I'd probably keep my bulbous bell end to itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just love the way that these guys write these, and there's a huge sort of explanation of what's gone on, and then it's basically like, well, we did this and we did that and we did that, so what do you think I should do? And then the answer at the end is, don't do that again.
Yeah,
and he's absolutely. I'll read you another one. Hang on. Dear Crystal, I work in a shoe shop, and one day a week the manager leaves me in charge. Recently I was about to close up for the day when a very pretty, well-dressed woman came in. She was about 35, 15 years older than me. Tall, slim, and very sophisticated looking. She quizzed me about some shoes we had on display in the window, and I asked for her to take a seat whilst I fetched them for her. They were a red strappy sandal, and when I got back, she'd already slipped off her own shoes to reveal her pretty pink sets of toes with dark red nail varnish. She wasn't wearing tights or stockings. As I lifted her foot to try her shoe on, the first shoe on, I couldn't help admire her long tanned legs. Why are we going into this massive explanation? I must have hesitated slightly. She caught me looking at her, but she didn't seem to mind and was smiling, knowing at me, and then she wriggled her well-rounded bottom in the seat and very slowly parted her silky thighs. This never ever happens. This will never ever happen to anybody. I let out an excited gasp in surprise at the sight that met my eyes. She wasn't wearing any panties, and I was staring at her shaven pussy. Then she said, "How does it look?" I said that the shoe was an excellent fit. "No, silly, she said, "I mean my cunt."
Oh, for goodness sake.
I shaved it for the first time this morning. Well, I was totally speechless. But then she said, if I locked up the shop, I could have a closer look.
Oh, good grief.
I didn't need to be asked twice as I dashed to the front door, bolted it top and bottom, and turned the open sign around. Then I led her to the storeroom in the back of the shop and was quickly unzipping my trousers and released my aching cock. She sank to her knees and took me between her lips, slowly licking and teasing the purple tip. After a couple of minutes, I stood up and slipped off her skirt. She bent over a table and I parted her piss flaps.
Oh my god.
That's when I got behind her and tried her on for size, banging away until she was squealing with ecstasy. Now she calls in every week when the boss is away, and we because she says that I'm the best thing that fits her in the shop.
Oh my god.
Could I get in trouble for closing up early?
What? Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Now he's worried about like trading standards, like getting on his case or something like that. He's going to get a bad appraisal. Well, I'm worried that you closed up early.
He's not going to pass his secondment because he closed early. Yeah. Do you want to know what Crystal's response to this was? If the boss ever catches you out, tell her it's just for good customer relations.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is just someone who wants to basically, I don't know, either tale of some sort of fantasy or just generally show off.
No one ever writes these things. They must have a writing department going, right, okay, what can we do this week? Tap it out, taps away and just writes out something ridiculous. He's going on about shagging this girl in the back of a shop, and then his actual question is, if I close early, am I going to get in trouble?
Yeah, it's like going off on like a massive thing about like, I had sex with a beautiful woman, we talked all night, we shagged intermittently, it was absolutely beautiful. I've noticed
shagged intermittently. Is that part of your erotic novel?
I was going to say, I don't know where the hell that came from. But then it'd be like finished like we were both in ecstasy, we both orgasmed. I then noticed a fungal infection in between my toes. Would you recommend an ointment that might clear it up in due course? It's so
my
weird.
God. Oh, it's so ludicrous, isn't it?
Well, I think we better wrap up, Sam. We've covered many a topic on
we
the
have
Scene
indeed,
Guys this week. And it's time to shut the doors for another week. So do you want to just mention real quick where people can find us on social media?
Yeah, sure. If you want to search the All Seeing Guys, check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and we're on YouTube as well, so you can listen to the show through YouTube if you want to.
Awesome. Yeah, also, whatever streaming platform you're listening to us on right now, don't forget, we're also on Lisbon, we're on Stitcher Radio, we're on the Satchel app, of course, Apple Podcasts, the former iTunes. I don't know why they call it Apple Podcasts now. Also, check us out on SoundCloud, Acast, and Spreaker as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're all over the place.
Something real quick as well. If you fancy getting yourself a All Seeing Guys t-shirt or a tote bag, you can head over to
Mugs.
Mugs. Yeah, you can head over to redbubble.com. Just search All Seeing Guys, and you'll be able to pick up a t-shirt there.
Yeah, and big shout out to all of Pod and Family, also the Brit Pod scene. Also as well, big shout out to our buddies Open All Powers over there in Kingston upon Thames, Greg and Joe.
Hello to the Wolf of Kingston as well.
The Wolf of Kingston, Jack Webber, that's right. Yeah, shout out to Benji Bullshit Smith. All the fans out there. If you want to give us a 5-star review on iTunes, that would be amazing as well. It helps us climb up the ranks. And I think that'll do for this week, Sam. What do you say?
I'd say, yeah, I think we're finished, yeah. So, I have not been Joe.
And I've not been Greg.
And this is the All Seeing Guys.
Toodaloo, motherfuckers. Bye!
The All Seeing Guys podcast is part of Podnose, the UK's leading independent entertainment podcasting network. For episode archives of the All Seeing Guys and all of the shows on the network, visit us at www.podnose.com. You can also follow us on Twitter via @podnose or send us an email via admin@podnose.com.